Hey peeps, what if Deku and Toga met earlier? And yes, it's basically going to be a Toga x Deku kind of like video. And I don't know how I'm gonna break this up, but since this is the first 30 seconds, I'll make this quick. If y'all want me to do all the parts of one big video, just let me know. But for right now, I might break it up. I gotta see how this story is gonna play out because I'm making it up as I go. Anyways, let's get with it, right? So your boy Deku is just chilling. He's 4 years old, okay? And he's doing what he's doing. He's just chilling. He's playing and he's doing his heroic stuff. Well, as much as he can without a quirk. And he tries to defend off Bakugo. That doesn't work. So what ended up happening is, he gets his ass beat and he's crying in a corner. But what ended up happening to get him to meet Toga, we're gonna streamline this, and I'm gonna say it's still while they're younger too, right? Because we're gonna make Toga a hero to the best of my abilities. This is gonna be weird. We're placing a whole new person. But we're gonna make it to where she's a hero, right? So she is going to be with your boy Deku at the park. Like they're gonna be playing and Toga's gonna have one of her like episodes early on, right? And what ended up happening is they're playing or whatever, and we can say Deku's like 5 or 6, it really doesn't matter. But the main thing that changes is they talk, they play with each other, somehow they keep in contact, like there's a number or something, right? And Toga tells Deku like, hey, why don't you train more? And he's like, what are you talking about? Don't forget they're like still relatively young, and he's like, why don't you not, why don't you train more? And Deku's like, what do you mean? Well, I don't know all the heroes, but I'm pretty sure there's like a couple of them that don't really have quirks like All Might that make them really strong. They're kids. And Deku's like, wait, what? Oh. You might not even need a quirk to be really strong. Plus, if anything, you're my hero. If those people were trying to bully me, you stopped it. You didn't even use a quirk. And also, I would like to add, they probably did have a brief interaction after Deku like helped her out, like from people like, oh, she's weird, she's drinking blood. And where it's to a point where it's like, Deku just comes in, saves her, like helps her out or fends them off, even though he can't fight. And he fends them off and he's like, all right, I did my thing. Cool beans, bro. And after they have like this brief discussion or whatever, Deku says, well, I don't think your quirk is weird. And she's like, for real? And he's like, yeah, I think it's kind of cool because like obviously you gotta drink blood for some type of reason. Like you can't just do it just because. And I'm gonna presume she knows what her quirk is a little bit early on, or like she knows what it does. And plus, who knows, maybe your quirk might be really strong where you use other people's quirk or something, because like blood and like DNA and stuff, you never know. And she's like, oh. And she's like, okay, well, I feel like it would be like a very underlining thing to where it's like a very small minor detail, but it's like, hey, she's like, I want to be more like you, so can I drink your blood? And Deku's they're still kids though. And so Deku's like, well, to be like me, you don't need to drink my blood. You could just keep me in your heart. You can keep me in your heart and always remember me. That's what my mom always tells me anyways, or grandpa or whoever. So now we would skip over to around the time the story starts, maybe like a year or two prior to the story starting. And we got a Deku that's older, and he's got a nice physique. He's pretty sturdy in this overall what if right now. His overall capabilities are far better than his predecessor. His combat intelligence is a lot higher. His overall presence is a lot better, and due to him eating properly and dieting and working out and getting the right amount of sleep, we're gonna say that he's taller. So we got like this like older swag kind of esque like Deku, or well, I guess I gotta say Riz now, because that's the new way of saying drip swag or juice or whatever you want to call it. But I digress. So we're doing that, right? He's coming into high school or whatever, and Bakugo and him don't actually interact that much because Deku doesn't have time for that. Why? Because this Deku is literally training. He has to train. His favorite things, he's on that Sasuke type flow. His favorite things is taking walks and training. No in between. Not because he's like trying to be, well, not because he's arrogant, but for the fact that he doesn't have a quirk. It's like not having a gun in a war or something of that magnitude. So, with that being said, Deku's like, alright, cool. Bakugo does be messing with people, and Deku just tells him, hey bro, you probably should stop that. You know, it's not very hero of you. And Deku just typically gets under Bakugo's skin. And then eventually comes to a point, yes, they will fight. It eventually comes to a point where like they're like, alright, fuck it, bro. You talking all heavy and stuff. How about you show me what your quirk is? And he's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you the truth. And Bakugo's like, what? Ah, you must got one of those trash loser ass quirks. Yeah, I know it. I know it since the day I saw you. He said, very well then. Deku takes off like the, you know, like in anime when they have like those school, like he takes off the top part to where it's just his undershirt, right? He cracks his neck a little bit and he takes his stance and just, Deku disappears or apparently disappears and just straight in Bakugo's gut. He just, and Deku just looks at him and says, I don't have a quirk. And as this happens, he moves fast enough to where he's picking up his little jacket. And then before Bakugo can retaliate, the class starts. Everything that pretty much happens besides Deku getting bullied obviously happens canon. They talk about being a hero, being this, being that. All of that good jazz pretty much happens. The only difference is there's no insult to Deku at all, and Bakugo's wincing a little bit as he's saying some of the stuff once he's done. He's like, ugh, because it still hurts from taking that strongest punch. Bakugo is a very firm believer that Deku has a quirk. He does not. Now we will go into the USJ. Damn, I just skipped everything. We'll go into the entrance exams. All right, rewind. I'm tired, bro. But we'll go to the entrance exams, right? So pretty much during the 10 months of training, nothing special happens besides Deku just training harder. And he decides, he's like, I do need a weapon, but what weapon can I use? And he's like, I gotta think of something. He's like, what weapon would a hero use? He thought of a katana, but he's like, no, that's too violent. Don't get me wrong, this Deku's a lot more alpha than the Deku we know, but he's, what's the word I'm looking for? He's still Deku, if that makes any sense, okay? So he's like, no, a katana's too pointy, but that would help if I'm in a situation, but could use a bat, but no, that's too violent. Wait, that's it, a bow staff, yes. It'll give me extended range, and it also allow me to incapacitate my opponent without actually injuring them. And then if I need to, I can, as he's proceeding to ramble, a beautiful, well, no, we're not gonna have that part yet. Well, as he begins to ramble, his one of his senseis, or just at a random dojo or a weapon shop of some sort, is just like, oh man, some things never change. There you go, going off on one of your tangents, Izuku. You really gotta stop that. People gonna think you're crazy, I'm trying to tell you. And he's like, sorry. I was just trying to see which weapon I need. You know, me being quirkless and all, I'm just trying to make sure that I use the right weapon. I don't want to use a sword because I don't want people to think I'm like a villain. And he's like, well, you got a valid point there. And I guess from what I heard, I barely can hear, I'm getting old. That bow staff idea of yours is good, but what if you're fighting someone that's able to harden up their body? How about this? I'll make you a deal. You promise to become the best hero you can be, and I'll make you some special weapons on the house. And he's like, wait, no, you can't do that. I'll pay. I've been paying all this time. Deku is a master when it comes to weaponry. He does know how to use weapons, guns included, to a very high proficiency. Now what's going to happen here is Deku is going to make his own fighting style that is a unique one to pretty much in general. It's actually, realistically, the origins of this is my version of what I would want to create. It's basically a style where I have a small bow staff, right? A small katana. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called like a kachi or kacho or something like that. But it's like a small like katana. Then a regular size bow staff and a regular size katana. And there's interchanging parts where I'll use the katana with the short bow staff to have a range or combo potential of different means, but I'm utilizing both of my hands. And then it can be used for different reasons. If I'm fighting someone that's not much of a threat, I can use my shorter bow staff while allowing me to still have maneuverability and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna bore you with the details too much. And he's like, wait, what type of weapons are you gonna make for me? He's like, I got something special for you. And also this bow staff is gonna be a little bit different than the ones you're used to. It will be a staff, but it will be made of different type of material. We could say it's just some type of metal or some really strong wood. It doesn't matter. The thing is, it's not gonna break easily, okay? Anyways, Deku says, all right, cool. Well, do you know when that's gonna be about ready? And he's like, give me about, what is it? Is it 10 months? He's like, give me about 5 months. So we'll say that Deku spends about 5 months doing training. We would get a quick montage of him doing his training, which would be basic katas and different forms of stuff like that, doing different push-ups, sit-ups, resting, eating the right meal, meditating constantly, and just different little things like that. Then on like the last few weeks here of this 5 months period, he'd be meditating a little bit, and he'll see himself like kind of like running in a forest or whatever, and he'll see blue flames everywhere, and he's just like, what the hell is this? What is going on, good stuff? And he just sees like this girl with this really long blonde like hair, and then just see blood all over her face, and all she says is, I'm sorry, Deku. No, I'm sorry, Izuku. And then Deku snaps out of his deep meditation. He's like, ugh. And we would also get a flash scene of where like this Deku is like got that like anime type like kind of build. He's got that good physique, no shirt on, sweat, bro. And he's like, God, I need to take another shower. And then as he's hopping out the shower or whatever, he's like grabbing something. He looks through his old contacts, or like he looks through an old picture, but like it's faded. And he sees him and like someone else, and he's like, who the hell is this? So with that being said, time passes, and then we really get no other character introduced at this point in time. I'm trying to make sure there's nothing else getting introduced. No, nothing at all. Cool. So now we'll do another time skip of the initial time of him getting the supplies, him doing some light training, and then we'll get another time skip of him actually getting ready for the exams. As he's walking up the stairs, Bakugo pulls up and he's like, oh damn, I'm surprised you're not scared. And he's like, what is all these, I guess he'd say, what is all these weapons? You think you're gonna actually be able to hurt somebody with a wooden stick? And Bakugo's walking away as he like says that, and he's like, dude, he smells like this flower or like a blossoming rose, bro. And he's like, God damn, that shit smells good like a motherfucker. And then he sees a girl with really long like hair. And he's like, oh my goodness, wait, you're the girl from my... And as he's saying this, he's like, oh, I'm falling. And then Uraraka's interaction happens. Fast forward. We're skipping the parts that everyone knows. Like, come on. So now we would get to the actual entry. This would happen a lot differently. Deku has a very low tech. It's not like super duper crazy on the tech, okay? He has like basic like gloves and like he's almost like in like an all black kind of outfit with no mask cover or anything like that. He has like neck support, but it's like kind of like it's like a turtleneck or something where it's like covering his whole neck, and then it's all black. He has like a whole black suit, and in his suit, it's where his weapons are sheathed, in his bow staffs and other weapons respectively, right? So he goes in pretty much with that, and then what as you know the start happens, Deku just goes, he starts off, because not All Might, but Mike is gonna be like, there's no starting a real battle. But instead of saying that, he's gonna look at Deku and be like, Deku's got the right spirit, as Deku immediately pulls out his katana and his other katana, because interchangeable style. He's gonna immediately pull this out and just start dicing the robots with like insane speed. Insane speed, mad proficiency. It's just beautiful expectation, bro. He's just and he's constantly interchanging the weapons that he's using. Bow staff, sword, bow staff, switch, and he's just constantly changing it up. If he needs more range, he pulls out one. And I'm gonna say the way he has like the thing on his back is like a way the suit is designed to hold this stuff. We could just say it's plot reason, but shit looks cool, alright? So he starts dicing them into robots, and for a good little bit you see other people doing this stuff, but they're not the main characters, so we really don't care about it. Now when it comes to the Uraraka situation or whatever, right? This is different, right? What happens here is Uraraka gets trapped, and Deku's like, damn, that's crazy, sucks to suck. And he's starting to like run with the other people, and then he's like, he has the flashback to when all the times he's saying that's not very hero, like when he's mocking Bakugo and shit, right? And he's like, son of a bitch. He pulls out both his bow staffs, bro, and puts them together to make like a really long post, and he starts swirling that bad boy, bro. He's like, launches, good speed. He immediately pounces off, bro. And the difference here is Uraraka's further back and the robot's moving slightly further, right? So first order of business is he immediately starts spinning, like it's almost like he's creating like a damn near mini tornado, bro. And he just starts like waving away the debris that was on her, bro. And as he's doing this, he's saying, close your eyes, please. And then he does that, and he wants to help her, but by the time he looks up, he sees the robot's foot. He's like, well, that's gonna be a pain. And he's like starts twirling it even more rapidly, bro. And to the point that it like damn near catches on fire, bro. And it starts just like, and like he cups his hands together, sparks come, and then flames. And then he's like, oh, I hope this works. As the foot is launching onto him, he immediately turns, and then he like holds his hand up and just, and then he just shoots through the robot. But like not as fast, it's just kind of more like a slow thing where it's just like, and he's like, please, please, please. But when he does that, the foot is on top of both of them, bro. He's picking her up because she's like, you know, in a very crippled like state, and he's like, please, please, please. And he's like, wait, you're the girl that saved me. Can you possibly? And you can see like the veins in this dude's arm is like gone, bro. Like it's just all there. You're seeing little tinies of skirts of blood, bro, just coming out. And he's just like, so you might want to make this dude a little lighter, as he like pulls the like, and we'll say he has like a utility belt, but it's nothing crazy. It's just for convenience sake. As he's like wrapping her around with like string, and then he starts to like hold it, and he's like losing ground, bro. He was holding it for like a good second. Imagine doing like a plank or something, where it's like, it's okay in the beginning, but after a few seconds, you're like, nah, I'm good. It's one of those, right? He's like, could you make the robot lighter, please? So people don't see the robot getting made lighter because of Uraraka. she makes the robot later. And then Deku's like, all right, hold on. He cups his hands together, bro, and he's just like, with every fiber and every muscle he got, he pushes, bro. He pushes. And Uraraka is struggling, bro. He's ew. And the robot is off center just enough. And I'll say the wave is just enough to make them flat back. And Deku immediately straps her. Uraraka was like on his side. Now she's like completely on his back. And Deku's like, oh, damn, I just used my bow staff. I hope I can get that back when these tests are over. He pulls out his sword, but it's in his sheath, right? And he pulls it out, bro. And he's like, oh, man, I hope old man Mugen don't get mad at me. And like he's using it to like stop the momentum. And Uraraka let go of the robot, but she's like, damn, do I make a slide? But she's starting to fade out in and out of consciousness. And Deku's like, fuck. He's just got so much momentum. He's like, what to do? He said, nah, fuck it, bro, I'm him. He pulls out his other little tiny one, bro, and just, he's using both of them, bro, and he's spinning at like mad speeds, bro. By the time he's done, his whole sheath of the sword is like gold. Not gold, but it's like that hot color. And the same thing for the small one. And he's just like, he's literally gotta hold them, bro. And he's like, nah, big dog. Because if I mess this up after old man Mugen put all this work in, bro, nah, bro, he gonna beat my ass, bro. And he's like, wait, hold up, my suit. He puts it in, all you hear is, so, oh, thank God, I asked him for help on the design. Maybe that's why he didn't tell me. It doesn't matter. I need to make sure she's okay. And they get checked up and they have that good little discussion as such. Now, what we would need to do is we would fast forward a little bit when Deku's doing his training, and we'll also say when he gets his like acceptance letter, he also gets a what's it called? His bow staff back. And they also fixed it up a little bit. And Deku's like, all right, cool. And as they're talking, the thing that would happen different here is All Might would like to talk to him. So we would pan into this, and this is like what, I think 2 weeks before it actually happened. So we'll say maybe like a week prior, him and All Might are talking. And All Might's like, yeah, you should be my successor, this and that. And Deku's just like, no. He's like, wait, what? No. Think about it. What good would me being your successor accomplish? You have enemies in every corner of the earth. They will know, and for the people that know, like this all for one guy, they will know little old me has your quirk. They will come after me. I will be the center of their target and focus. No, that's already making my job extremely hard. Then we're not even talking about the time that it would take for me to learn how to use the quirk. God forbid, because you said it was passed down for generations. This is just spitballing because I know it's not true, but God forbid I'm somehow able to access all the other quirks of the past user. Then it's gonna be, then I gotta learn their powers. And if it's stronger than what they had, bro, I'm gonna be learning fresh from nothing, bro. Like, I'm just saying, it seems like a lot of extra work that shouldn't be there in the first place. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna be a good hero. I'm gonna be better than you. But me going through that path willingly, and then if you're saying that it gets stronger each time, I'm quirkless, you're quirkless. The way the quirks are getting set up, bro, I saw something on the dark web about this one dude over something. He was talking about how quirks, you know, the singularity and shit. Like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to go through that. That's so much work. Because how am I going to find a successor when I start getting old? How I know the villain that you're talking about, how I know he not big bad, he gonna kill you, then I gotta revenge my master. It sounds cliche, my guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna do it. But find someone else, someone in UA, might work. Or you could find a quirkless person. Like, I doubt you would just give it to some random quirkless person you just met. You know, just met off the street. Like, I doubt you would do that. You've seen my skill. It's not like anything crazy, but it'd be kind of funny if you did do that. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna catch you later. And then this is where we would get into UA's meeting and all that type of stuff. We'll say there's one extra person here. We'll say that Toga's in the class, and then all the guys are smitten by her and stuff. It's like, damn, she bad like a motherfucker. The difference with this Toga is her hair is longer. She doesn't look like, oh damn, I don't know how to show. She has that hardened look to her, kind of like Bakugo, if that makes any sense. But it's not exactly the same, if that makes any sense. So she's got that Toga look. There we go. So now we would talk about her being introduced to the class. Well, no one would really introduce. She would come in a little bit late. And the guys would be crazy about her. Like, oh my God, she's so cute. Deku would look up and be like, wait, do I Toga? And then she looks over, it's so cool, cool. And then she like flaunals on Deku and like jumps on this nigga, bruh. And Deku just like, he doesn't even do anything. He just grabs her, bro. And it's like, oh, what's up with it, fam? Like, I know her from some roses from earlier. And then he looks and he's like, oh, Toga, my nigga. And just like she's just hugging. Bro, it's like, how have you been, bro? He's like literally throwing her up in the air, bro. He's like, bruh, I haven't seen. And his face turns serious. Everyone shut up. And then everyone just deadpans because he started releasing like a mad amount of killing into me. He's like, everyone shut up. The teacher's been here the whole time. And like, he like throws Toga behind or like next to him, it doesn't matter. And she like uses her acrobatic skills and she lands promptly. And Deku does take note of this, and as I was saying, maybe not all of you are problem child. When did you realize I was here? What was it, Izuku Midoriya? To be fair, I knew he was here from the beginning, but I thought it would be fair for some people to get to know each other. And I also did do my research on you, Ozawa. It seems like you have some ruthless tactics, if I may say so myself. It's good to see you've been doing well, Deku. He's like, yeah. Now, yes, they technically did just me, but they also didn't. And he's like, that black uniform looks familiar. He had a prototype. Long story short, quick flashback. During the year throughout Deku training, he did do a couple of shady things. Not shady as in villain sense, shady as a training sense. He wanted to test himself, so he was going to some underground areas and fighting and stuff. Him and Izawa end up teaming up to take down a villain, but Izawa had to take all the credit for obvious reasons. But the reason this happened was because it was a dude, I'm trying to think of a random ass quirk. It was some low life city, not even city level. Well, you can say city level. Him and Izawa, like at first, Deku was like there just to get his money because he was like, hey, I need my bread. He was running the whole thing or whatever. It's not really the concern of Deku. And he's like, nah, don't. He's like, all right, here's your money, now get. And he's like, all right, shit, fuck it, I'm out. But then he hears like this one dude pulls up, right, bro? And he has like some like slaves or something, right? And Deku's like, what are they? He's like, these are my objects, you know? I'm gonna take very pleasure in what I'm about to do to my property now. Deku blood starts to boil a little bit. He's like, oh, hell no. So he starts fighting, bro, but he kind of realizes he's slightly out in magic because this dude has some lightning ability. And after Deku takes down all his like goons and stuff, Deku's like battle damage is like on the ground. He's like, see, boy, this is what you need to learn. There's a pegging order to everything here around here. You didn't really respect the rules. I was nice and courteous to help you explore your talents, and become the best little hero you want. And you had the audacity to attack me as lightning is crackling and thundering, shocking around. But it's on a low scale. It's not like around the surrounding area of like the building, but it's inside contained, and it's just shocking and zapping. And Deku is like, eesh, this. He's trying to get up. He's like, all right, Bucket, look here. He said, okay. Aizawa pulls up and he's like, finally, I found you. Lightning Head, you're under arrest for XYZ. And Aizawa looks down and is like, who are you? He's like, I can say the same to you. And he's like, fair enough. So are you a pro hero? He's like, yeah. He's like, all right, cool. We can take this dude down. I finally figured out what his weakness is, but I'm gonna need you to give me an opening for me to actually land a good blow. Deku takes his stance and Aizawa's like, taking orders from a kid. Please. He said, a kid with skills though. and then they proceed to like dash at him, and then that's where it like pans out. Then we would have it to where, you know, Aizawa was telling the police what happened or whatever, and then like he goes to a rooftop and him and Deku has like a very brief discussion, and he was like, kid, what's your name? He's like, as he puts like a mask back on, and he's like, Deku. And then they leave, and Deku leaves. Then we would flash back to the present. So, and then Uraraka would be like, wait, do you and Eraserhead know each other? Yeah, he saved me from a villain attack. And he makes up like a whole story and everyone believes in it. And Zawa in his head is like, not too hero-like, but a good cover-up story. I like this kid. They would go out and do the ball throw as usual. The only few changes here would be that Deku gets a pretty far score. And then Toga, which, you know, she's got like this long hair and she's walking and she's like, She's like, hey, Uraraka? He's like, what? Wait, no, she wouldn't say your name. She was like, what was your name again? Was it Uraraka, right? She's like, yeah. Could you put your hand out for me? And she's like, yeah, sure. She's like, okay, look, this is gonna hurt, but I just need a little bit of your blood. She's like, wait, what? And then she like does something, right? Or she pulls out like a little needle. It's almost like a magic trick. She pulls out a little needle and just a tiny little bit. And then she sucks the finger, and you know, to be in the typical anime fashion where everyone's sort of so, and Deku's like, did she do it? And then she, like, for a very brief moment, she grabs the ball, she cocks it back, aims, and then for a brief moment, like literally, it's a brief moment, you literally see her turn into, what you would call it, Uraraka throws the ball, hits the gravity limit, right, and does it, and then gets infinity. So, you know, it's both of them tied, and then Deku's in third, Bakugo in fourth, and so forth. Now we would go straight into the USJ, right? So what would happen in the USJ would be different, all right? So let's get to it. All the introduction bullshit happens, okay? Then the villains pull up. The difference here is Deku, Toga, and actually that's pretty much it. They all feel it and immediately they charge in that direction, bro. Deku asks Toga, hey, are you good with any weapons? And she says, yeah, a little bit. I'm specialized in basically like with blades and stuff, you know, due to the nature of her quirk. Deku immediately pops out and then like it shoots out and he flings it over to her, that his shorter sword, right? And she takes it out like with mad efficiency as they're like fleeing down like the stair steps or whatever. And she's like, very well. And Deku asks, hey, do you know how not to kill? And he's like, yeah. It's like, all right, cool. You might have to not do that. You might have to kill. And so what ended up happening is the second that these niggas come out the woodworks, right? Deku and Toga is like right there, bro. Like Deku's got the katana in one hand and Toga's got the shit. She's going in for a kick, he's going in for a punch, and they just meek him. And they just start And then as they were running, prior to them initially launching, Deku tells, he actually pulls out his bow staff, and he does it like in like a really quick fluid fashion where he's running. He hits Ida back, but it's more of like a propelling type hit. And so he looks at Ida as he's doing this, right? And he tells Ida like, hey, run, go get help. He blitzes off because, like, you know, he's confused at first, but he looks at Deku like for a very brief moment, and Deku starts releasing killing intent, bro. And he's like, go get help right now. And then he runs off, right? Shigaraki gets smacked, bro. Right? And then they just start going ham on these villains, bro. Me. The ones that came out immediately, right? They like with smooth proficiency, bro. He is just dicing through these dudes. He's not cutting them up and dicing them up. He's just cutting them in like vital points to like enable movement and stuff. So he just starts doing that with the swiftness. Both him and Toga does this as like these largest groups of villains are there, right? And they're just throwing quality hands with no problem. And it's like, it's almost like they got like this weird synergy because like dude's about to attack, Deku's doesn't even look. Toga backflips onto his like head, kicks two villains. He turns around with his like bow staff, and it's almost like everyone that briefly sees this, it's almost like they're dancing in the way that their movements were like so fluid and just go together, bro. They're just like, and they do have a little brief combo, like when they hit that back to back, right? They're just like, look at us, taking on villains and fighting together. And Toga with her like insane like expression, it's almost like we're already dating and we're just doing a daily day of work. He said, oh God, you're making moves on me already? I didn't know you liked me. And then they proceed to like do this for like a few minutes, maybe at most. So what ended up happening after Shigaraki is covering, Kodagiri doesn't even pull up on them yet because he's got to check on Shigaraki. And he's like, Master Shigaraki, are you right? And he's like, no. How did they see my attack coming? They shouldn't have known. Okay, it seems like there's what is it? A mini boss before the big boss All Might is here. Very well then, we'll solve this problem now. Bring out the Nomu. Nomu comes out and big ugly as ever. And he's like, take care of the rest of them and make sure they don't intervene. I want to see these two bleed. And Toga and Deku respectively realized what was about to happen, and they were like, all right, bet. And they nod at each other. Look, Deku just grabs his sword, right? It just flings it, bro. Toga does the exact same thing, bro. Just as she's weaving someone, and she does like this like feminine like kick on someone, bro. And then Deku just comes up behind and they just it's just like one of the random villains, bro, right? So what happens is Kodagiri is about to like I'll say he teleports only like half the people, like Bakugo and Kurishima respectively get teleported because like their fight scene was kind of fire. But everyone else doesn't get teleported, right? Because they got interrupted because the two weapons were colliding, it ricocheted off each other and then just like sliced, and then it meshed it with Kodagiri, so like he couldn't like stabilize as much, right? So when this happens, Kodagiri's actually out of commission for a while. Azawa eventually pulls up and helps, and he was like, y'all shouldn't have done this, talking bullshit. He's like, man, Deku with this bow staff out. He just got in a regular bow staff mode, and he's just he takes it apart because it's like 3. He takes it apart and he just starts puts it back together and just starts going to work. Toga, on the other hand, is just using a certain type of fighting style where she's just like going for like these parries and counters and stuff, and she's mad proficiency. He's like, please, you know, the casualties would be a lot higher if we wasn't doing what we was doing, right? So now with that being said, they do their little fighting, but the normal pulls up, bro. He look at her, bro. They done with the villains. They got a little sweat going there. And Toga's like, so Deku, do you well, she can say Zuko, it doesn't matter, or Midoriya. Midoriya, do you got any gadgets for that thing or weapons? And he's like, no, I got my fist. Azawa's like, stay back, and they both just look at him like, nigga. They walk up, come on, big dog. Apparently this thing is as strong as all mine. If that is the case, you're not beating this thing alone, even with your erasure. Let's do it together. Deku takes a stance, kind of like a ready stance, bro. But I'll say it's more like a, hold on, I want to show you. It's kind of more like he's in like a squat, right? But his hands out, and he's got one on his like shorts pulling them up a little bit. Or like his black, like kind of like exo suit type. Toga is like flickering her afro out, leaning forward, getting ready, almost like a Bakugo position, but not as aggressive. And it's always got his bandages saying, being ordered around by a kid 2 times. I hope there's not a third. And Deku just says, I hope there's not a 4th. No, I feel like he would probably just be like, hey man, if we live through this, I don't care how many more times, I just want to live. They proceed to fight the gnome, while everyone else is dealing with some of like the straggler villains. Todoroki's doing what he's doing, but the only difference is everyone's a lot more closer to each other than they was in canon. And you're seeing people do little combos. Todoroki freezes Kurama, the dude with the lightning shocks him. All of this good jazz is happening. So we would get it to where that happens, and then my brain died. I'm gonna have to edit that out. But we would get it to where that's pretty much happening, and we would have like a time skip of like a few minutes, not really a time skip, unspecified amount of time later. And then you see Deku bleeding and tired, and he's like, God, son of a bitch. Zawa's on his back, just Toga's on her knees, just saying, why do we exist to suffer pain? And everyone else moans respectfully in agreement's like, holy God. And then what ends up happening is Sugar Rocky's like, why is it taking the nobles so long to kill these weaklings? Fine. As Master always says, if you want something done right, do it yourself. So Shigaraki pulls up, and then like Deku, without even thinking, throws one of like the villains or like one of the like recruits like right here, without even thinking about it, right? And what ends up happening is the dude makes full contact and disintegrates, right? And Deku sees this and he's like, ah, hell no. So Deku's not playing none of this, right? He uses his bow staff, which I'll just say he was leaning on or had. He picks it up. He picks it up and like presses up with it, bro. And then Shigaraki swipes to hit him. And he's like, very well then, I'll just get Eraserhead. And then what ends up happening is Deku just puts it around Shigaraki's neck, right? And just and then Shigaraki is trying to reach him, but this is where Toga comes into play. She's like, this is my specialty. And she like does something weird, and like a whole bunch of string comes out, right? And what she does is she makes it to where Shigaraki's hands don't connect with Deku. And he's like, I don't want to have to do this, but you gotta go, big dog. And as that's happening, the Nomu is fighting Aizawa. Like, I'll say that Aizawa saw this and he had to get up, right? No. Better yet, Aizawa's down on the ground and the Nomu goes off and starts fighting the other students, right? They're having a hard time. Bakugo and Kirishima pulls up or whatever. And by the time that Bakugo and Kirishima pulls up, almost everyone else is gonna be down, bro. They're struggling with Shigaraki, so they're doing their own thing. We're gonna talk about their POV in a second here. We're gonna talk about the student, right? During the point in time when all this fighting and all this good stuff like this is happening, Maneto gets smacked. He ended up saving the dude with the tape. He ended up saving that dude, getting him out of the way. But what ended up happening is he died in the process. Then Momo and Yazurozi, or the girl with the headphones, they like got pretty much smacked around too. Everybody got smacked around. But what ended up happening here a little different is they tripped and fell, or like kind of like stumbled into each other after like, you know, trying to like regain balance from like getting hit from the Nomu. And they're losing in and out of consciousness, and the Nomu winds up, subtitles, you are a bitch. I'm better, I'm him, look at me. And he just winds up and just, and then bam, everyone's like, no. And then Invisible Girl, rest in peace, she's going too, bro. Smack. Todoroki's like, oh shit, like, this isn't a joke, like, oh, we're actually in trouble here. So what is happening is Todoroki says, fuck my morals, bro. He like puts up like a big flame inferno to like separate them, bro. He just, and the Nobu just walks through it, bro. Just, bring me that booty, boy. And then he just, grabs Shoto by the fucking noggin, bro. And this dude said, oh, hell no. He, and then he says, fuck this, bro. And he starts like freezing one side and burning the other side with everything he got, and the Nomu lets him go, bro. And he gets up, bro. He tried to stabilize or whatever. He tried to get his, like, you know, coordination and balance back, right? No, sir. What ended up happening is the Nomu started regenerating, right? And then he used the arm that was regenerating and just broke the ice off. And then that started regenerating. And then he just, and then Shoto was like, oh, son of a bitch. He got his shit rocked. He's not dead, he just got his shit rocked. Before he died, the dude, I don't remember what his name was, but the dude with the lightning comes through and says no. And then he shocks him, but then he goes stupid because he overused his quirk. The Sugar Rush dude, and then the dude with the whole bunch of arms, he came through and they just, like pulverized that dude, bro. He got up and just like speed blitz these dudes. He kicked the dude with the whole bunch of arms, kicked him, goodbye. And then Sugar Rush, he just looked at him and just said, and just smacked that dude into oblivion, bro. Just, everyone's just like, excuse me? Everybody's confused. And Momo and Jiro, they're just like, oh shit. They losing consciousness. They don't know what's going on, right? And as this pain and suffering is happening, bro, everyone's confused on why they're dying right now. They were going to school to be heroes, but we're already fighting villains on the level of All Might? Everyone's down on the ground. No one can move, and the Nomu's moving in like, yes, sir. I'm about to get my prize, and it's your death. Like, he's moving in like a smooth criminal, right? But then the dude with the tail, bro, comes through, and he, meek. He tried to throw all these combos, and Nomu just turns around and looks at him. Really, nigga? Really? Dark Shadow comes through and just tries to like smack this dude. Dude just looks at the shadow and just it smacks him away, bro. And he just looks back at this dude. They're just desperately trying to hit him with something. It's like Hercules against Cell, bro, but like a little bit better. Like he's doing a little. It's tickling a little bit. He just says, no, it just has like this sinister look on his face. It just like grabs this dude by the tail and just rips it off, but slowly. You can hear the flesh and the blood, and then there's the dude just he doesn't die, but he does pass out, and he just gets thrown away. He's like, the Nomu doesn't say it, but everyone mutually understood that he said, where was I? As this is happening, Deku is literally finishing off Shigaraki, which during this whole 2-5 minutes, give or take, because the Nomu's fast if he was able to keep up with All Might, and it doesn't take that long to kill people that are weak. So Deku finally does get to, like, you know, kill this dude, bro, and he's like, all right, cool. I'll say that what happened was Kodagiri kind of was able to make the portal move, and then there was like a brief skirmish, but Deku was just so much more superior. Also with Toga helping around with the strings and stuff, like throwing that shit around to like mess up Todoroki's movements a little bit. But Deku's far superior than Shigaraki in this point in time of the story. So he just kind of puts the beats on him, bro, and then like he hears what's happening, bro. He knows that his classmates are dying, so he's like, yeah, you gotta go. And he does this, and then his sword starts beeping. Beep, beep. Both of them pull up to him, bro. And he allows one to get sheathed, but he pulls out the longer one, bro, and starts fighting with it. And Shigaraki's trying to do something to him, and he's like, I'm sorry, but no. And he cuts off like one of the fingers on Shigaraki's hands and does the same thing for the other one, and he's like, no. Now you can't use your quirk, so where was I? And then all you hear is just, it's Shigaraki dies in the beginning of this episode. His head just plops down, and Aizawa's like, I don't think Aizawa would say anything, but Aizawa just look at him and he's like, we don't got time to speak. And Aizawa's down on the ground like he's out. That Nomu kicked him in the solar plexus and then suplexed his spine into oblivion. Like he'll be able to walk, but like right now he not moving. So Deku blitzes, bro. And as this is happening, we would pan back over to Bakugo's and Kirishima's experience, where they're just seeing dead bodies of their own classmates, bro. This isn't a shonen, my boy. This is gore, destruction, the DK versus real, my bae. So everyone is dead. Not everyone, but like everyone. I mean, I pretty much just killed all the useless characters. All right, like. Anyways, though, that happens. Bakugo and Kirishima, they're enraged. They go attack him. Deku's with them, and then he like winds his arm back and then like swings with everything he's got, bro. And as he's doing this, he keeps doing it, and he's using Toga's string to help with this, right? Because she's on top of that, so she's moving, bro. And he just starts getting real fancy with it, bro. He's just moving it. And Bakugo Kirishima try to go in. Kirishima gets one shot at, bro. He just. And Bakugo just starts trying to release a lot of explosion. Die. He gets smacked back, bro. Dude, like, and it's like one of those like devastating hits where you just. But I'll say it's in his rib instead of his face. And he gets sent back to Deku. and then he flings Toga. And he yells, buy me some time, I got a plan. He looks at Deku and Bakugo's trying to be all tough and stuff, and Deku just, nigga, this is life or death. None of that tough shit. I got a game plan. Let's get it. Meanwhile, while they're making their game plan, Toga is fighting for her life. She's doing like little stabby stabs, cutting cuts. But like she's like, damn, this shit's not working. She's weaving these blows, but it's on some like barely, and you can feel like you almost feel like you got hit with it when you didn't get hit with it type beat, right? And so it's just cut, 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 cut. Cut, 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 cut. More cuts. Like she's just literally desperate, bro. She even tried to go for the eyes, bro. She's like, she was like, wait, why I didn't go for the brain? By the time she realized that, the normal just looked at her, grabbed her by the face and said, no. Blood leaking out and everything, bro. And he's like, Toga, no! She pulls all the little knives and strings that she had, just, and she's on the ground, but like she's kind of like levitating, but not like really flying per se. She just kind of is like holding the Nomu in place, right? So she's doing that, but she's only can do it for so long because the Nomu's pretty strong. You can hear the string breaking, just. And so it's getting worse and worse and worse. And then you just see Deku just running in. No, Bakugo, aim for the brain. Oh, my light went out. Well, we're at the end of the video anyways. Aim for the brain. And then Deku, and then Bakugo says, don't tell me what to do. Massive explosion happens, right? Then the Nomu breaks free. And then just hits Bakugo with like the most vicious uppercut you will ever see. Then Deku comes, and then he immediately just, with everything he got, he uses his sword, bro, and just, and then what he ended up doing is he drops the sword behind his hip, pulls out his bow staff, right? And like has it to like where it blocks. Basically, he has it to where it's holding him still. He cups his hands together and just says, goodbye with you. What this does is make the Nomu extremely weak as it's trying to regenerate, right? And then Deku basically got him caught in the explosion technically. He's battle damaged, bloodied everywhere, hair's a mess. And he's just like, you gotta remember, he was also fighting the Nomu initially anyways too. He's like, and the Nomu, we'll say the Nomu's still strong, but it's in a weakened state because it's regenerating. So it's on equal footing with Deku right now, but it still has super strength, right? So Deku's just like, nah. You gotta go, big dog. And then they just, and they just start duking it out. But Deku's just the superior warrior, bro. And then they just start fighting, and Deku just starts beating this dude down. And then it'd be the typical where the hand's moving a lot, and then the hand stops moving, and it just tears in his eyes, blood everywhere. He's crying. All the survivors are crying or barely conscious, like what's going on. Izawa puts his hand on his shoulder and Toga's like, it's okay. And then All Might appears, not smiling, and he's like, he looks over to him and says, where was you? Where was you when we needed you? This is what I was talking about. I don't know these people. This is what I was talking about. Where was you when we needed you the most? You can't be everywhere at once. You put the whole world on your shoulders and expect no one to question it. No villains to think, he might not be here. And the only reason they was fucking here in the first place was because of your ass. I don't know why you didn't use your fucking brain and decide to, hey, I don't know, maybe get a whole new lung or a whole new respiratory system. Have you ever think about your problems? No, maybe you only did, I'll punch it really hard and hope it goes the fuck away. Literally, all you had to do, bro. Like, what the fuck, man? Half of my fucking classmates are dead right now because they wanted to kill you. So imagine if somebody was your successor. I killed that dope because I had to, not because I wanted to. Not because I wanted to. Tears filling his eyes and pain enriching in his soul. And I had to kill this thing because it killed my classmates. And then Deku passes out. Now, I'm sorry, during that whole theater, my face was looking weird because I wasn't even here. I was visually picturing this shit. But anyways, that's gonna be part 1 to what if Deku met Toga earlier. Yeah. If y'all like it, cool. If y'all don't, I'm gonna be mad as fuck. Not like in the sense of like you didn't like it, but for the sense I made this long video and no one liked it, it would hurt the feelings. I'll cry a little.